21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. How come mansions are always the location of murder mysteries? They never happen in shacks, right?
Well, there are intriguing rooms. Mansions have intriguing rooms.
There's lots of different rooms.
Tree houses are like not very big.
Channing Whitaker is on the phone. He has a big history of creating short films. He has written and directed over 50 short films. He's a producer of television news, independent films, commercial videos. And that's probably why his book, Until the Sun Rises, has so much visualization in it when you're reading it. One Night in Drake Mansion. It's a mystery thriller novel. Channing Whitaker, nice to meet you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you, Larry. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
And where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Houston, Texas, actually.
All right, excellent. And is it difficult to transfer from writing script or screenplays to writing a novel?
I think that both. Obviously, there's nuances to both, but I consider myself probably most interested in storytelling. So really, it's just modifying the story I want to tell to the vehicle that you're going with there. And then you just have to understand the strengths of each. As an example, in books, you can kind of talk about the inner thinkings of the character, whereas in a movie, that's really not easy to do.
That's true.
In a movie, you can kind of layer visual and sound all at the same time. You can have characters talking at the same time, and that's difficult to do in books. So for me, I just think about the strengths of both and then kind of steer my story to play to those strengths. That's my approach. So. Oh,
I love that answer. It actually explains why when you go to a movie after you've read the book, that you get the characters more than somebody else in the audience who hasn't read the book. You still get the story, but I think character development is such a, I don't know, it's important to me. I'm guessing I'm not alone in that.
No, it's very important, and books definitely do have that strength. You can, for one thing, with a movie, you're kind of bound into time. If your movie was 4 or 5 hours, people tend to not enjoy that, whereas a book can kind of go longer or shorter because books typically are read in kind of multiple installments.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can definitely dive deeper into characters, and you can just go ahead and tell people what a character's thinking, and that's a very intimate way to get to know somebody. But it's not you just can't do it in movies very well. You can do like a voiceover monologue, but then you're pretty much going to be contained to one character to do that sort of thing. So it's interesting, and I like both mediums. So
tell me about the setting of Until the Sun Rises. Not just the mansion, but also the time, the year, and all that.
The book takes place in, kind of in 2 time periods. It starts in the present. The setup is that 80 years ago, a wealthy family of 5 attends a traveling magic show, and then the family and the magician are never heard or seen again. In all these decades, their mansion has been abandoned, of course, picking up lots of stories, lore, ghost stories. And then the book actually begins in present day, where a reality show takes 5 contestants to explore the mansion, including a comedian with the dead psychic, a high-tech ghost hunter, a horror movie scream queen, a local woman, and then a scientist debunking sort of character. And so shortly after entering, they find the missing father's journal, and you actually get to see very personal entries from him in the past, so sort of braided past and present. Excuse me. The past part takes place, like I said, 80 years ago. It takes place just after the First World War, and you learn that the character, the father in the past, Benton Drake, had been a medic in the war, and that's where he met the magician. So you learn that they had a backstory prior to the disappearance, and so it's pretty interesting going back and forth between the 2 time periods. And you also, as the book goes on, find that the people in the present are still in more danger because of what happened in the past, and so I think that's a really exciting dynamic.
Oh, I have to read the book to find out exactly how something from 80 years ago can be dangerous today.
Well, you already set up the reader, though, because you have the magician involved, and this is more than just your regular ghost stories, because you give the reader the feeling that this is something that could actually happen. It's very credible.
Thank you. I like that aspect. I think one of the things that also distinguishes the book is and what's very personal to me, is the skeptic sort of debunker character. There's a lot of stories where if you flirt with the paranormal, then the skeptic sort of character is just there to kind of be the fool, the one to say, oh no, that's not possible, and then be proven wrong when everything goes, all the trouble comes. And my book doesn't treat it that way. It gives a lot of weight and earnestness to that character, and kind of lets you kind of identify probably with which character is closer to your ideas. As the story unfolds, you kind of get pulled more to one character than the other. But I think it really stands out with the weight given to that character, and it's not ghosts chasing people around. That's not the big payoff. There's a lot deeper level to it. At least that's what I shot for when I was telling the story.
Wow. I've actually been to a haunted mansion, but Disney owned it. It wasn't the same thing.
I like the fact that one of your screenplays, Killed TV, a horror mystery, has been released in March.
That's right. Yeah, it's just about 2 months now that it's been out. That one's kind of interesting for people in broadcast, especially. I kind of got the first seed of that idea when I was working right out of college. I started working just the behind-the-scene camera at a TV news station and got a seed for that idea. But that story, it's more of a horror with mystery-driven. So I think of my book as mystery with just a little dark to it, but my movie's horror with a little mystery to it. And it's set at a TV station where they do have a creepy late-night horror host that shows, the old movies and breaks it and makes jokes about them. And then the cast and crew there get trapped with a real killer in the station. So the movie's propelled by which of these characters you get to know might secretly be a killer and which of the other characters are going to survive long enough to find out who it is. So it's a pretty fun movie. It got produced actually here in Houston, Texas, and like you said, it premiered in March. It's been to 4 film festivals now. They've all been horror-specific film festivals, but it's won a major award at each, as in Best Actor, Best Director, or Best Feature. And so it's been picking up a lot of awards. It's shown at some more festivals over the summer. So yeah, it's been doing really great.
That is cool.
We have a copy of the book, Until the Sun Rises. I would like to give it away. Call me if you would like the copy that was sent to me. The rest of us have to go buy it. Channing Whitaker is who you would look up on the internet. Maybe you have a website you can tell us about, Channing?
Yep, it's really easy. It's ChanningWhitaker.com. My name, ChanningWhitaker.com.
I like the fact your cover. I think that's so cool, putting the picture of the haunted mansion inside an old-looking TV set.
Yeah, thank you. The publisher let me kind of weigh in with a lot of ideas for doing that cover, and I thought that you can't get too many graphic elements on there without just making it too overloaded. But if you take 2 things away from the cover, it has the haunted house, and creepy mansion, and it's got this on-TV broadcast sort of element to the story.
Yeah. I like the top of the TV. I think I had that TV one time.
Yeah.
I think I probably spilled a few things on it and caused whatever's going on there.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been sitting weathered a little bit.
Well, good luck with the book. Is this a new direction for you? Are you going to be doing more novels, or is this something aside?
Yeah, thank you for asking. That is my plan. So the reason I wrote this novel is because I started screenwriting is where I began. That's what I studied in college. It's where I began my career. But the story I had to this book was just a story that was too big, I thought, for a screenplay. Again, you're limited in time. It wasn't big enough to be a series. It has a definite beginning and ending, but there were a lot of characters I wanted to go deeper with, and I just didn't think I could pack all that into a screenplay without losing a lot. So I wanted to do a novel where I could really get the whole story out. And then I fell in love with a couple of the characters so much that I'm going to go on and write another follow-up to this novel, take 2 of the characters into a new story.
Yeah,
I'm working on that right now. It's going to be set in Alaska, so that'll be a drastically different in setting, and it'll be a pretty fun book. 2 things that are my favorite that you do. I love dialogue and I love character development. And of course, you have some great twists as well. Channing, it's a delight to talk to you. I hope you come back with the next book. Oh, thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. It's been in effect for a half-century. President Obama lifting a ban on selling arms to Vietnam. As the 2 nations warm up relations, the president says there are still human rights issues there.
This is an area where we still have differences. There's been modest progress on some of the areas that we've identified as a concern.
The president in Hanoi. An Egyptian submarine joining the search for the black boxes from the plane that crashed in the Mediterranean.
This as Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi says evidence suggests that a sudden and dramatic catastrophe brought down Egypt Air Flight 804 last Thursday, but he's cautioning against premature speculation.
Fox Radio's Jessica Gallagher. 66 people died in the crash. The murder trial for an actor who played a police officer in the TV series The Shield is due to start today. Michael Jace charged with killing his wife 2 years ago in their Los Angeles home. Fox News. We report, you decide.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SE was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone remembers the first time they saw one, and the day they began to long for a Mercedes-Benz of their own. Well, that day may be a lot closer than you think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the luxury, the unparalleled safety, the performance, and the style Mercedes-Benz is famous for at a price you can afford. Beautiful SUVs, sedans, coupes, and convertibles that are factory certified and covered by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 3 years, so you can drive without a worry for as far as you like. And during the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through May 31st, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
The Orlando Fringe returns its 25th anniversary festival, May 18th through the 30th, with nearly 1,000 performances from local, national, and international performing arts companies. There is truly something for everyone at the Orlando Fringe. For tickets and information, visit orlandofringe.org or call 407-648-0077. We hope to see you on the Fringe. Orlando Fringe, 25 years bold. Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
Next time you're thinking about beating the train, think again. It takes a typical freight train traveling 50 miles an hour, 1.5 miles to stop. That's nearly 18 football fields. Don't try to beat the train. Florida's roads can be highways or dieways. The choice is yours. A message from Operation Lifesaver.
This message also brought to you by your friends here at WOCA News Talk 1370.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm